Right. Hello, everyone, and it's a pleasure to have such young achievers with us. And what better day to discuss about women entering the MBA programs than the Women's Day? So thank you, and it's an honor to have you here. So we have Shilpa. She is an ISB graduate. She's about to graduate from ISB. She has experience in IT supply chain management, worked with HUL, ITC, and Cognizant. She's an NIT Raipur graduate as well. And we have Harita. She is an investment banking associate, a reservoir engineer at JP Morgan Chase and Company, and she's also about to join an MBA program. So the topic of discussion today is, about women and how their preferences are and what do they expect from their careers and what are the challenges they face. We want to listen to your inspiring stories so that people who are at the crossroads of deciding of whether to invest in their dreams and how they should, plan for their careers. So your stories would definitely, add value and help them decide for themselves. So we would like to understand to what your career journey has been like, and what brought you to the crossroads of yes, I have to pursue an MBA. Right. So Shilpa, would you please share your journey, your career journey till date, and how you got into an MBA program?
Definitely, Shruti. So prior to coming to ISB, I had 8 years of IT industry work experience. I worked with Cognizant and ITC Infotech for around 7.5 years. However, my role was into quality assurance role for this SAP ERP application. And over the years, what I realized that my knowledge with respect to IT industry was getting very much limited with respect to the job I was doing. I was working with great clients, large scale global clients. However, as I moved up the ladder in the IT industry itself, I struggled to get the perspective of the clients, as well as I struggled on how to manage different stakeholders on a common ground. Um, so these were some of the challenges which I figured it out in my day to day career. And what I was looking forward for is that a course which can not only broaden my perspective about the different industries but also help me understand in depth in the industry which I am into. For example, the IT industry. I wanted to know about each and every functional unit, be it finance, be it marketing, everything about that industry in a fast paced manner. And that's why I decided that an MBA from the good college would help me get it in a fast paced manner. And that's how I decided to pursue my MBA from Tier 1 college.
Excellent. And Harita, please share your career story and what brought you to the MBA.
Sure, Shruti. So thank you so much for having me here. And I'd like to start with my prior experience. So I have an experience of around 7.5 years in the oil and gas industry. I have an experience of working for a PSU for around 3 years and then with an investment bank for about 4 years. So while I was working with the PSU, it was a great journey. I was involved in the core technical field that I had graduated in, that is petroleum engineering. Post that, when I moved to JP Morgan, I was interacting with the people inside my team. And during that time, I was able to understand that what are the different levels we need to go if we are working with different stakeholders. So initially 2 years, it was a great learning for me. But gradually, when I moved up the ladder, when I was a part of the team and when I was leading the team, I realized that just my technical knowledge would not be enough to be able to lead a team at a broader platform. So that is when I decided that I should move ahead and I should pursue an MBA, because I feel an MBA would provide me the right knowledge that would be required to understand all the perspectives of any team or any business management. And that is the reason I started to prepare for GMAT. And once I got a decent score in GMAT, I thought that I should go and I should target the top B schools in India. And post that, I gave my interviews for IIM A, B, C, and also ISB. And I'm glad to share that I got a convert from ISB as well as IIMA. And I would be moving ahead to join IIMA this year, and I will be graduating in 2024. And I wish luck to all the aspirants out there. And I would seriously recommend anyone who is thinking that I should grow and I should be able to lead a team. So MBA is the right platform, and there is no right time to pursue an MBA. So
Truly inspiring. And as women who are doing well in their careers, as well as you have families to look after, and so what has changed and what needs to change? Were there any challenges that you faced and how you overcame them?
Yeah, so I got married 2 months before joining ISB. So I can totally understand what you are trying to ask for. I mean, right from the day I decided that I want to go for an MBA program, on the one hand, I had the societal pressure of getting married early, like around 3-4 years back. On the other hand, there were my dreams of pursuing the MBA program. So at that time, what I did was that timely communication to my family, as well as asking their support and my future, at that time my future partner, that this is my dream and I really want to pursue, and getting their support and asking, communicating to them on a timely basis was one. And the second was, after getting the support of the family as well as your partner, then making this strategy about how to balance both the professional and the personal aspect. So it can be seen as a point of strength for you, because when an MBA is a program where you need a lot of support, so uh, educating them, getting involved with them, I mean, involving them in your day to day curriculum, I would say, in the entire program. And then you would be surprised to know that they are more than always available to help you out throughout this rigorous journey of 1 year MBA. So I see as a point of strength. And I would just advise that asking for a timely help and getting their support is very much crucial.
So Shruti, I completely agree with Shilpa. I got married 1 year back, and it was post marriage that I really decided and really started working on my MBA dream. So I completely agree that stakeholder management starts at home. So that is the first point that you have to overcome. So one of the main challenges, I completely agree, is the society pressure, because everyone expects that once a woman is married, it's responsibility, one of the major responsibility is to take care of her household. And of course, if you want to work, you can work, but then family is your first priority. So I would say, in my journey, what has been the strength, my support, was my husband, and of course my in-laws. So there might be some instances where people would not be agree that, okay, why you are earning right now, why do you need to do an MBA? You can probably just continue your job, you're getting good money, and anyway your husband is earning, why do you want to go for it? It is important that you show that you want to work hard and you want to grow. So my husband was the one who used to sit back late at night and sit back and just make me understand that, okay, you are going wrong in your GMAT journey, you need to get back on track. And he was the one who was standing right there outside my interviews and waiting right back in the car for me, that, okay, how did your interview go? And when I was not selected to some of the MBA colleges, he was there. And I would say that for my in-laws as well, they completely understood that women nowadays and families nowadays don't operate in the traditional way that they used to be previously. And it is important for both the people, the male and the female, to work towards their dream. Of course, family is a very big part of it, but they need to be happy if they want to stay together. So support is one thing that I feel is very, very important when you are going to study, or even if you are going to work. So that is one very important thing that you should develop over a period of time, and it takes time to develop. It just doesn't come in one day. So that is all I believe in.
Very true. And a very important aspect over here that comes up is a personal brand. You as a woman professional, you need to have a personal brand. You need to identify yourself with a certain, maybe skill sets or a certain identity that you bear on the professional front. Please.
Yeah, Shruti. So, in my view, what goes on to building this strong personal brand would be first your knowledge about the work you are doing. So, being the master of the material, I would say, of whatever material you are working on. That is number one. The second would be your strong network. So, A network is something which I have realized over the years is something which you can always reach out to, not only for a suggestion or the opinion, but also for any professional help as well. So a knowledge and a network is something which is very much crucial, I would say, in terms of building a personal brand.
So Shruti, for making a strong personal brand, I truly abide by that it is the attitude that matters, and it definitely doesn't matter whether the person is a male or a female. If you have the right attitude at your workplace, it will definitely take you forward. And second is, of course, having the right knowledge. And there is no end to knowledge. If you are learning, you can just keep on learning. If you have the right knowledge and the right attitude towards your work and towards your peers, that is definitely going to be your personal brand. And that is something that no one could ever take away from you. And having the right attitude is actually very important. And that is what I realized when I worked with multiple people during my career, because I have seen people who had tremendous knowledge, and there is no use of that knowledge if you're not able to share it in the right way. So, if you have knowledge in the right direction and if you want to apply it, you just have to share it with people. And you have to have that attitude. If you want to help someone, just go out and help. There is no shame in helping anyone, or even if you make any mistake, it's fine to accept. And that is what will be your individual brand, and that will take you forward.
True, very true. And in terms of, you rightly mentioned that, the knowledge that you have is something that is going to stay with you at your work and it is going to stay with you for a long time. And both of you are experts in your very niche field. So tell us about, how that has grown and how it will help you break the glass ceiling, grow further in your uh, career.
Sure, Shruti. So I am a petroleum engineer. So first of all, I would like to share an experience that whenever I tell anyone that I'm a petroleum engineer, people are taken aback because people don't know what petroleum engineering is. And if they see a woman being a petroleum engineer, they're like, "What are you doing? We don't even know about it." So, an oil and gas industry is very small, but I am surprised to see that many oil and gas professionals are now working towards growing higher into the management roles. So that is one thing. And second, being a petroleum engineer and also being an expert in a very niche field inside petroleum engineering has definitely enhanced my technical knowledge. And when I was appearing for the interviews and when I am meeting people from my class and when we are discussing any topic, and say for example any of the cases comes up with the oil and gas industry, I am definitely able to contribute to that because I come from that industry and I know how the market impacts the oil and gas industry. So yes, the technical knowledge is in a very niche category, but yes, it can definitely help because I have worked in that field and I can help the people who are looking to transition into the role that I come from, or they are looking to just do some study in that case. So that I agree that it can help people very, like, I can relate to one of the scenarios when I was appearing to one of the interviews. So I can understand, like, one of the professors literally asked me to explain that what are you going to do, and could you please just explain how the market has affected the oil and gas pricing and how does it work. So yeah, the knowledge which I have and what the oil and gas people bring to the table, that is something that is very different and that can help people transition into those roles.
Right. And Shilpa, in your case, you are almost done with your, MBA program, and you are about to pursue another, your next, leap in your career. So, how have you felt that the MBA has helped you, bridge that gap, and how has the transition been?
So, I would say earlier before ISB, my perspective about the job I was doing was completely different than what it is today. So earlier, if I was a QA engineer of the IT industry, I used to think that my job was to test the application. But now, when I go back, I would say that I'm helping businesses in their digital transformation journey. It's that massive change, I would say, in terms of how my work is changing the business, how it is impacting the lives of the customer, and how am I serving different industries through the IT application I would be working for. So I have gotten this such a wide perspective in terms of the business strategies, in terms of how my work is impacting the on the broader level, how the IT application is impacting the financial revenue for the farms, or where do we stand in the entire industry with respect to the competitions in the market. So I would say I have gotten the entire overall perspective of what the business, the firms do, and that's important takeaway for me of the work which I was doing earlier.
And I'll just take a moment here. We are joined here by by Anisha. And hi, Anisha, how are you?
Hi, Shruti. Thanks. I am doing good. How are you?
Doing well, thank you. And Anisha, she's an MBA aspirant. She's graduated from the SRCC and worked with JP Morgan as a junior analyst. And additionally, she's an artist, an entrepreneur, and sells her work.
Yeah,
So, it's great to have you here, Anisha, and we would like to hear your story.
sure. So, I have been a commerce graduate and I have been working in the finance industry for over 3 years now as an investment banking analyst. And what I have seen working throughout this journey is that people who came with an MBA to our firm have a certain perspective towards things which I might not have, given that they have a much more diverse curriculum from what we learn in our undergrad. So I realized that if I have to move upward in my corporate journey and do more also towards my entrepreneurial venture, an MBA degree would help me to a great extent. And also the part of networking comes over here. So now after joining ISB, I've been meeting a lot of people, and the kind of warmth, the kind of network that I have been able to build, it is immense. And just in 2 months I can say that I have met a diverse set of people, and that is just the starting of the beauty of an MBA degree, I believe. And I know that the journey is going to be much more great after that. But even before joining, I was exposed to such a great network of people. And I think that is what it is going to be more interesting, which is the pure learning part. So I met Harita also, Harita. And it was interesting to know that Harita comes from such a diverse industry. When we see people from 10 different backgrounds in a room, the conversations become much more interesting, and which is why I am very excited also to leap forward in my journey.
So this brings us to understanding the highlights of your MBA journey or your MBA application journey, which would really help the aspirants plan better and look at their profiles in a different way. So what is it that you would like to share? So
The
yeah.
best thing which I figured while completing my MBA applications was that first, when I approached towards it, I was thinking from the other's point of view. I was thinking, what would that person like to read? And I was drafting my own thing. And I think in that case, my individuality, my core strength were not coming out. Then I followed a different approach. I followed by analyzing myself, and then I think I was much more confident with my essay, because then I was able to think on my own and present myself better instead of thinking what the other person would want. I was googling things like, okay, what are the top skills? Okay, then communication came up, this came up, but I was missing on my own skill in this process, which is creativity, which came out when I was thinking myself as a person and not as someone else. So I think individuality matters a lot when you are completing your MBA application. We cannot just think of all on the paper achievements and everything, because I think we all have a very, very different growth story, very different journey. And it's very important to be proud of that and present that, instead of just being someone just for the sake of getting in.
When I started off, so I had 1.5 months to get done with my applications. So initially when I started, first of all, the applications are very overwhelming. So when we first go across it, it has such a lot of check boxes that we think that, okay, we don't fit into anything. If they are asking for 5 skills that we have acquired throughout our life, we feel that, okay, we have not won any competition, we have not been good in anything. So that thought sinks in that we have not done anything in our lives. So it is very important to just step back and think that, okay, even if we have done a very small thing, say for example learned cooking, that can also be a skill that you have acquired. And if you have completed a project just on time, even that is an achievement. So there is nothing to be shameful about that. Okay, that is such a small achievement. And the more you make your own story, and I think it is the personal stories that the MBA colleges are looking for. They are looking for personal achievements. They are not looking for 95% marks, or I completely agree that academics do matter, but they are looking for someone who can actually take the name of their college forward. If someone has accomplished something very small or very big, it just has to be something like, okay, they can achieve something in life and they want to grow ahead in their lives. And that is the only thing that MBA colleges are looking for. And even throughout my interviews, I felt that they are not looking at something that is a benchmark. If someone says that, okay, 700 is a GMAT score you need to get into XYZ college, that is not compulsory. They actually do look at your profile, and your profile is how you want to present it. So you have to just personalize it. And that is what is definitely going to take anyone into any MBA college they wish to go to.
Yeah. And Chilva, you are almost about to complete your MBA journey. So please share the highlights of your MBA journey.
The entire 1 year had been truly life changing for me, I would say. And if I think about certain highlights, I would say the number one would be the peer group, which is out there here. And everyone is coming from such a unique, diverse background. And when we go to the classroom and the rich classroom discussion we have about any case studies with the esteemed professor in the classroom, that is a completely different scenario, and wherein we get the perspective from every uh, individuals from different industries, and that has really broadened my perspective about how I see a given situation. And the second, which is very much I would say important with respect to the ISB journey, is the alum network we have it here. Be it any task or any challenging situation we are into, there is always an alum we can reach out to, any profession, any field. And there is always a culture of giving back to the society, to the college. So the alum network is really helpful here at ISB. And the third, there is so much importance in the extracurricular activities, the events, wherein we get to interact with higher leadership, people who are there in the industry, higher leadership roles, as well as the alums and the professors. So a lot of emphasis on not just the classroom studies, but also out of the classroom is what makes the entire curriculum so unique and so much useful, I would say.
Right. And thank you, everyone, for sharing your, inspiring stories. And actually, year on year, when we work with applicants, it actually, comes across that you have so much potential, which you are worried about, showing on paper in your interviews. And mindset is something that actually blocks you from going ahead and taking that leap. So, is there any advice? We've already discussed a lot of points over. So, is there any advice that you have, just 1 or 2 points in case you would like to summarize some takeaways for the listeners? Harita?
Sure, Shruti. So one of the very important points that I'd like to share here is I can see in Anisha's video it's written, it's okay. If you feel that you are not doing good at some day and you cannot do, it's okay. It's okay to feel bad. But the only thing that I realize, and I would strictly abide by that, is don't give up. If you I completely I can relate it to my story, because even I have failed. And there is no harm in accepting failure. Just accept it, and if you want to do something, just try not to quit.
Yeah, so before that, adding on to Harita's point, so I gave GMAT 7 times. So just to emphasize the point of not giving up, right? So never give up on your dream. That is what Harita told. And the second would be that being self-aware about your dream and then asking for the help, be it at the professional front or at the personal level. So seeking out help from people is very much crucial, I would say, at work, at home, as well as seeking out help from the mentors. It would take you to the next level.
Yeah, adding on to what Harita and Shilpa said, I think it's very, very important to be unapologetically yourself. So I think as a woman, you should always be very, very confident, because sometimes I feel that we have a habit of downplaying ourselves, be modest. So I think that when we are preparing for an MBA, the first thing is to be very, very confident with who you are, because we can't change ourselves in 2 or 3 months. But what we can do is present our story in a beautiful manner, because every one of us, all of us, has a very, very different story and a beautiful story. It's just a matter of how we are going to present it and how we are going to be confident about it.
Thank you everyone for joining us, and we look forward to many more conversations going forward.